every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. What does wealth mean to you?
Peace of mind, money, happiness, health.
Let's discuss, participate, call in every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. with host Shema John. Happy Wealthy Wednesday, Buzz!
First impression again. Children, focus on your schoolwork. Women need to know their worth. Father, support what you birth. Neighbors, live in peace on this earth. Cause first impression is a lasting one. First impression, memorable and strong. First impression will always live on. Cause you will never get a second chance to make that first impression again. Set your standards above the sky. Always go the extra mile. When opportunity comes, you will soar. Success will be knocking at your door. Cause first impression is a lasting one. First impression, memorable and strong. First impression will always live on. Cause you will never get a second chance to make that first impression again.
Good evening, and welcome to Wealthy Wednesday Buzz. We will begin our buzz with our Wealthy Wednesday Buzz prayer.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 17 to 19. Command those who are rich in this present world not to be arrogant, nor to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share.
Thank you, Bernadette. Of course, there's always some issue when it comes to technology. So welcome, my Wealthy Wednesday Buzz fans, family, and friends. Where I am, it is raining, we have thunder, we have lightning. So I'm really hoping that we'll be able to do our 30 minutes without any interruptions. Today, we will speak on ways in which we can reduce our expenses and increase our income. And before we start off, we will say thank you to our sponsors, Courtesy Car Rental, the best place to rent a vehicle in Dominica, The Hub, a cool place to chill out in Dominica, Shopee, if you are living overseas or if you're in Dominica, you do not need to go physically to pay your bills. You can use Shopee, app.shopeeonline.com. And we're also sponsored by Big Edge. We will now take the Big Edge advertisement.
You've got the edge over your circumstances. Many times there'll be trials to face. At least when it comes to your waning finances, you've got the edge. Help is coming your way. You've got Big Edge for those days when you're running low. Big Edge is the place to go. Big Edge, the cash can be in your hand with the easiest payment plan. Big Edge, cash in a flash.
Welcome back, Wealthy Wednesday Buzz fans and friends. Of course, plenty rain where I am. Just to let you know, it is 2:30 a.m. where I am in France. And so it is really and indeed a sacrifice to try to get off and for us to have that discussion. So we are just going to run through some ways in which we can reduce our expenses and at the same time try to increase our income if we are to live a life that is not so much in debt. So some of the ways. First, you have to check what are your biggest spending items. So your biggest and also your items with the most interest. So I know it will be things like mortgage, vehicle loan, credit card debts. So we said we will try to consolidate that. In terms of the mortgage, I'm realizing now there are different institutions offering much lower mortgage rates, and we may want to capitalize on that also. So if your current mortgage rate is 7% or 8%, shop around because there are other institutions providing a lower interest rate. And a lower interest rate, it might be 1 or 2% lower. I can tell you, this will make a difference when you're talking about hundreds and thousands of dollars. Okay, so consolidate, and we always say do not put yourself under more debt. So we are moving on to other things now. I would also like to encourage you, if you have a credit card and you cannot handle it, you can freeze it, cut it, return it to the bank, give it to a friend of yours to hold, somebody you trust that they will not go using your credit card, but you just want to halt on the credit card debt. Now, other little things we can do. We can take our breakfast and our lunch to work. For me, when I do that, it saves me at least $30 if I'm doing lunch, because if I do not bring my lunch to work, I have to buy lunch for me and I have to buy lunch for my son. So that is on average $30. So I take my lunch to work every day. I spoke about carpooling, walking to work, taking the bus, riding your bike based on where you live. And we can understand that if 5 of us, we are going to the same show and we intend to go around the same time and return when the show is over, it makes sense to carpool. Now, reduce on some entertainment. I know we need our entertainment. We need to go out. It helps us free up ourselves. And so while I'm not saying eliminate entertainment, I'm saying we can reduce on entertainment, especially some of the guys I see every Friday religiously. They would go to the bank, to the bar, and not just make a drink for themselves, but they would make drink for whoever is there, whichever female, male, and they would make drinks. Sometimes I ask myself, do they budget for that? I really do not know, but for some reason, some guys seem very comfortable going to the bar and making drinks for whoever they want to make drinks for. If we are going and enjoy ourselves, we may want to consider, if we're unable to do the VIP, we may want to opt for the ordinary, because the ordinary is always very much cheaper than the VIP. I'm saying we can reuse our clothes, our outfits. Of course, now and then we want to buy something new, we want to look different, we want to feel different, but consider reusing your outfit. It is yours. Even if you post on Facebook with it, even if you do TikTok, it is your outfit, reuse it. So use the pants with another top, use the top with another pant, whatever you do, but you can reuse your outfit. You do not always have to buy outfits at the regular price. You can wait for when they sale and you can buy your new outfits. You can also at times do your pedicure and manicure. So if you're somebody that like to ensure that your nails are well done, now and then do your own pedicure and manicure, and on special occasions, you can go for the professional to have it done for you. You may want to consider low maintenance hairdos or hairstyles, or learn to cut your hair by yourself and learn to shave yourself by yourself. So a low maintenance hairdo might be braiding your hair, using wig, just giving your hair a break from all the chemicals and from going to the hairdresser every week. Do free, enjoyable family gathering. So you do not always have to take your family out and spend money. You can do a lot of things at home. As a family, you can cook a meal, play some board games, watch a movie together. So these are inexpensive things. You can take a walk, you can just go to the beach together. These are things you can do and have fun, spend time with family at a minimum cost. Cook for a few days instead of cooking daily. So for me, I cook probably once or twice a week. I cook on a Sunday and I cook different foods, and it would last for the entire week. So that means during the week, I do not have to light stove and use ingredients and all of that. So it lasts for the week. If it finished by Saturday, then I will cook something fresh on Saturday. It also helps you to relax, because when you cook on Sunday and you have food for the entire week, then you do not have to hustle cooking. So cook for a few days instead of cooking every day. You might want to wash or use your washing machine sparingly. If you have adult children, a lot of times each person is washing their clothes and each person washing their whites. But probably you can combine clothes and wash a full load instead of each person washing a little bit of clothes, using water, using electricity, using detergent to wash clothes. Reduce on the use of air condition. Of course, you can opt for fan. I know it's extremely hot nowadays days, but you may want to sometimes just leave the air condition off and use the fan. I realize on average, if we use the air condition, we probably pay around $15, almost $20 a day just to run the air condition. So you might want to use fan, open your windows, and have some fresh air come in. Turn off your lights and use LED bulbs. So use energy saving bulbs, turn off your lights, close your pipes when not in use. If you're brushing your teeth, you close your pipe and then you open to rinse off. You might also want to consider solar as an option in terms of your lights. So you may want to consider solar panels. Now you can water your plants with collected water in plastic barrels. So a lot of us have lawns and we have flower gardens. So collect water, rainwater, and use that to water your plants. So place your barrels in locations close to your plants. You can have somebody put a little head at the bottom of the barrel, connect your hose to it, and use your hose from that barrel rainwater to water your plants. You can also use that water to wash your vehicles. So this is another one. Don't try to impress others with having brand or having Mac. Mac is how they call brand in France. So don't try to impress others. If you're purchasing something and you know, for example, that particular brand will last longer and cost a little more, then that is okay. But do not do it just to fit in, or do not do it just to try to impress people. So you have to be very focused on what it is you can and cannot afford. Now, reduce on your alcohol intake, because alcohol is very costly. So you will be reducing in terms of cost if you reduce on your alcohol intake, and you will also be improving your health if you consume less alcohol. Then we would like you to save for vacations and for huge purchases. So if you save and you say, I'm going to save $300 a month towards my vacation, then you won't need to take a loan for your vacation. But next week we will go in depth with vacation expenses and all what it entails in terms of vacation. But you can save for huge expenses. So you know, a fridge is a necessity, a stove is a necessity, your washing machine. So you do not want, when these things are not working, they're not operational, you do not want to have to go and take them on higher purchase. If you're able to save $200, $100 a month towards those important items, then when the time comes, if something goes wrong with them, you can easily purchase them and not take them on higher purchase, because it is very expensive when you take items on higher purchase. I know it is convenient because you pay a little bit, but you pay a little bit high interest rate for a long period of time. So that's another way you can save some money. Then use everything in your cupboard before buying more. And I too have an issue doing that. So sometimes we have pasta, we have rice, we have beans, but we will still go out and buy more pasta and more rice and more beans. So what we can try to do is to use up everything. So if it's pasta we have, then we're going to make a meal with pasta. If it's rice and red beans, we make a meal with that. We are not going to leave the red beans there and go and purchase, let's say, lentils. So we're going to use what we have before purchasing more. Of course, during the hurricane season, we have to have our canned foods and our dry foods there. But ordinarily, we want to use what we have in the cupboards. And we can also try to prepare simple foods, because if you realize, the more extravagant and costly foods, they're more expensive, and two, they're not as healthy. So when we are doing the baked this and the corn souffle and the macaroni and cheese, so with cheese and milk and butter and all of that, it is very costly to prepare these types of dishes, and it is not healthy for us. So if you can be as basic as possible, your provision, your veg, your beans, your fish, your meat, that in itself is a healthier way for you, and it's a cheaper way also. Then we would like to encourage you to speak to your kids about reducing expenses and what it is in terms of how we are going to spend our money. So it's not a matter of when our children ask us for anything, we'll just, even if we can afford it, we are ready to give it to them as soon as they ask us for it. We have to let them know it is not a priority now, or in some countries we have some times, like in July, in France, for example, where I am, every July is sale. So you may want to opt to buy things for your children for school and so in July. So we talk to them about finances, spending money, saving money. They must be part of that whole discussion. Now review your cable and internet company. I know in Dominica we only have two, so you're either with A or you're with B, but you can listen, find out where the deals are better, and you can switch if you have to switch. Now, I also have viewers and listeners in Europe. So from what I learned from my brother is that every year, if you switch after 1 year, you get your internet, your cable bill cheaper. So let me give you an example. In France, if you're with a company and it costs 40 euro a month, which is the kind of average, 40 euro a month, then if your plan ends in September you're expected, or you're advised to switch to another company, and you will get, because you switch to them, you will get it for 10 euro a month. Now, if you remain after the year with that company, it is going to increase to 40 euro. So when the next September reach, you advise again to switch to another company, and you will pay the 10 euro. So of course, that is not for us in Dominica. But if you're living in France, or if you're living somewhere in the States, you can always switch and get a better deal with your cable or internet company. In Dominica, I'm aware that if you pay your internet cable bill for the whole year, so if you pay it for 12 months, you will get 1 month free. So that in itself is a saving, because if you're paying your internet and cable bill for $250 a month and you're able to pay 12 months, then you're actually saving $250. I know not many of us can afford to pay 12 months one time, but for those who can, this is something to consider, because to get $250 in interest at the bank, you need to have at least X amount saved. So do the maths, 12 months by 200 or 12 months by 250, you pay it for the month, then you get the 13th month, so to speak, free. So that's something to consider. Then I'm putting this point because maybe that's something we can consider in Dominica. So in France, there is something that if somebody has a farm and you come as the vendor wanting to buy their produce, whether it's apples or cherries or whatever it is, you come into their field, you do the harvesting yourself. So you harvest from their trees, you take what it is you want. When you're done, if you're harvesting, they will wait and you will pay. That is allowing the person, the owner of the farm, to not have to employ people to harvest. And because you're here harvesting for yourself, by yourself, the amount you pay for your harvest is also cheaper. So that is something that farmers can consider in Dominica. Now we're talking about insurance. Many of us have our vehicles and our homes insured. You can shop around. So we have X amount of insurance companies. Shop around every year before you renew with the company you're with. Shop around at the different companies to see, based on the value of your house, based on what it is you want from your insurance company, whether it's for your vehicle or for your house. See if you can get a lower rate. Another thing I've learned is that if we come in groups, so for example, I have my house, let's say I'm using Pepita's house, Gary's house, Tracy's house, everybody, like my group, my family group. So 10 of us, we can approach an insurance company and say, I'm bringing 10 houses to you to insure. What special rate can you give us? I realize we do not do that in Dominica. So I would go with my house and insure and get the standard rate, and my other family and friends, they will do the same, get the standard rate. But we have to realize with volume, we can negotiate and get a better rate. And that is one I would like to encourage us to do. When I come home, I myself will champion it, because I will get at least 10 houses, 10 friends and families to come along. And if we can give an insurance company 10 houses to insure, then we should be able to get some kind of discount. And of course, if I can bring 20 houses on board, the discount should be more. For those who do not know, insurance on vehicles and insurance on houses have gone up a whole lot. So for example, I was paying $5,800 a year. Now I'm paying $6,334. So it has went up for me, $500 a year. So if I can get some kind of discount from that, I would appreciate it. Many times we have to come together and work together and see how we can help ourselves. Then another tip I would like to bring out there, shop on days where you can get discount or higher discount. Shop on days. So for example, there's a firm in Dominica. There are 2 days in the week. You will get 10% discount if you shop there. So you might want to consider these 2 days and go and shop there once you have a card for that company. Now, for me, I shop most times where I get rewards, points, discount. That's where I shop. So I will not go to a store or a shop that does not offer points or discount. So I would like to one time big up HHV Whitchurch, because HHV Whitchurch is one of my sponsors for my Wealthy Wednesday Buzz. They have offered us the $50 gift voucher to our monthly winner. So I will shop at HHV Church because I get points. After a certain time, I can use the points to buy groceries. So shop where you get a reward, shop where you get cash back, shop where you get points, and shop where the interest, the discount is greater on certain days. Now, another tip is to buy straight from the source. And when I say buy straight from the source, if you're buying fish, it is cheaper to buy fish from the fisher folks, straight from them. So, for example, where I live, I must pass Masak, I must pass Fonkole, I must pass Mahu from Tong to go home. So I will buy straight from my fisher folks in these areas instead of going into the supermarket and buy the fish. If I am buying vegetables, I would prefer buy straight from the farmer or provision straight from the farmer instead of buying from a middleman, because of course, you know, the middleman must put in their markup, their little profit, and rightly so. So let us take a break. Let us say thank you again to our sponsors, Courtesy Car Rental. If you're in Dominica, you rent with Courtesy Car Rental, reliable vehicles, great customer service, Courtesy Car Rental. When we want to chill, and during the upcoming season, we are going to go to the hub and we are going to chill. The hub is located on the E.O. Libla Highway on your way to Portsmouth just after Collyhoo, or on your way from Portsmouth to Tong just after Dubla. And we're also sponsored by Shopee. If you're living overseas, if you're in Dominica and you want to pay your water bill, your insurance premium, or any other bill online, go on and register onto Shopee, www.shopeeonline.com. You can also visit them at 33 Kennedy Avenue. There's a location in Bellevue. There's a location in Laplain. You can go in there and you can pay your bills. There will be upcoming locations also. We are sponsored also by Big Edge. So now we will have the Big Edge advert.
You've got the edge over your circumstances. Many times there'll be trials to face. At least when it comes to your waning finances, you've got the edge. Help is coming your way. You've got Big Edge for those days when you're running low. Big Edge is the place to go. Big Edge, the cash can be in your hand with the easiest payment plan.
Thank you, Big Edge, and I'm realizing the time is flying. So let me just run quickly to ways you can increase your income. And I always said, if you have a skill, use your skill to make money. If you can cook very well, make pastries, do makeup, braiding, use that to make money. Sell something, a product or a service. That's how you make money. Get a part-time job. Rent a part of your house, a room. Creole Festival is coming up. Rent a room. Rent your downstairs for a short time. If you're a professional, you're a good accountant, teach accounts to children. If you're a teacher, do extra classes. Sell things you do not use at your home. We have a lot of things lying around, clothes that are too small, clothes that are too big. Sell that out. You're also cleaning your home when you do that. People with graphic and IT skills, you have a good chance. Those of us that have new businesses, we would like logos, we would like websites, so approach us. We would like to work with you. Power wash. Invest in a power wash, a brush cutter, paint, do something around with houses around your neighborhood. For those into farming, come and organize a backyard garden for the elderly lady. Set it up, do the beds for her, plant for her, and she will take over. These are ways you can make more money. You can also do a lot of other side hustles. So my brother, for example, he indicated that he will only buy luxury items and go on vacation when he do side hustles. So whatever he's good at, he will do it as a side hustle, and this is what he will use to fund his lifestyle. A thing we do not do in Dominica, but which I figure we can because it's done in Guadeloupe, we can sleep with elderly people. So after work, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you're going home to sleep anyway. So you can sleep with an elderly person and get paid for that. This is something I also think we can bring in to Dominica. And of course, if you're going to the festival, your vehicle is not a taxi, you may consider registering your vehicle as a taxi. But if you're going to the festival, other people want to come along with you, yes, you can carpool, you can also charge them a little something for gas, but your vehicle is not registered as a taxi. So remember that. So these are some of the things I figure we can do to try to make some money. Importantly, we always have to live within our means. You try to reduce our expenses, try to increase our income, and try to not put ourselves under too much debt. Our buzzer for last week is Senval Auguste Senval. So you're our buzzer for last week. I have not heard from Michael John, so we will give him another week. And if we do not hear from him, we will have all the names from June and July. We have all these people in. We will choose one of them for the July HHVWH voucher. When I go through the video, I will get the buzzer for this week. Thank you very much for listening. Our time just fly very fast. Thank you to our sponsors, Big Edge, Courtesy Car Rental, Shopee, and The Hub. Thank you very much and have a happy, wealthy Wednesday buzz.
Thank you for being part of Wealthy Wednesday Buzz. Join us again next Wednesday and every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. for another interesting discussion with host Shirma John. Happy Wealthy Wednesday Buzz!
Zafa